the man with the gambling advice, the man who knows the odds. He knows the lines. He knows when to bet, who to bet on, how to bet them. And this is Coach Schwartz. He's forgotten more about this sweet science than most of us will ever learn. And this is the Santa Monica College track. And right now it's almost sort of a private track. We got one lone runner here. We see this guy every Sunday. Who wins? Spence versus Crawford, Dougie. Spence beats him. I don't know.
Great fight.
Crawford's got a lot more experience, and he's got this great versatility. Crawford, and he showed it against Ndongo, he can push the pace, he can set the tempo of a fight, but still be relaxed, still be defensively on point, and he can force you to throw punches that he has the counter punch for it. I don't know. I think I'm going, you know what? I thought before Spence beat Kell Brook, I loved Crawford in that potential matchup. But after this performance against Ndongo, I'm kind of feeling Bud Crawford again. How's Mayweather versus McGregor tickets selling? Black God of War. They're not. They're not selling at all. That's why some of us, a couple weeks ago woke up to an email from Costco saying, hey, how about these Mayweather-McGregor tickets? You want some? That's not a good sign.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, no, the tickets, this is not an event to a live event. This is for pay-per-view. Mayweather-McGregor is all about pay-per-view. And Boxnard 187 says, break it down. Mikey Garcia versus who? Mikey versus Crawford? Is that what oh, no. He said Mikey versus Linares.
Linares. Oh.
Yeah, that's a hell of a fight. I love it. That's the fight I want to see most at 135 pounds. That's the fight I want to see the most.
Yeah.
Garcia versus Crawford, break it down. Crawford breaks Garcia down. That's how I break it down. One boxing king, one. Crawford's too big, too talented, too smart, too versatile for any natural lightweight to step up and face. That's how I feel. I mean, I know
Garcia wants that fight.
Yeah, I know, but Garcia's a real fighter.
And his brother wants that fight.
Robert Garcia wants Mikey to fight Bud Crawford.
He does.
He should know better. I think I would advise against that. I really would. But whatever. I mean, that's the only marketable fight for Terrence Crawford at 140 pounds is Mikey Garcia. How was Mikey's performance against Broner? I thought he was absolutely sensational, but Broner was the perfect mark for him at 140 pounds. Would you agree?
Yeah,
JP?
damn, Mikey's crew loves your Periscope.
Oh, does
they
it?
write in every week.
Oh, do
Mikey's
they?
crew.
Oh, yeah, he's got fans.
He's got fans.
That's why I would love to see Mikey fight Jorge Linares.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a draw right here.
It seems like
Linares' promoter is Golden Boy, and they're based in Los Angeles. On September 23, Linares is going to be defending his Ring Magazine and WBA titles against the gold medalist from Britain. If he wins, if he looks good there, we'll be able to see how Linares draws in Southern California. I don't think he's going to be a huge draw. I mean, he's from Venezuela, and he's fought most of his career in Japan and outside of America. But hardcore fans know about him. I think there will be some interest there. But if you match Linares with his experience and his credibility against Mikey Garcia, who's from Oxnard, he's local, he's of Mexican descent, he's bilingual, and he's coming off this tremendous win over Adrian Broner, I think the combination of Garcia and Linares can make for a really good fight at StubHub Center or even the Forum.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think Forum. I think it's big enough to maybe it's Forum if they stack the undercard right. So I just want to see how they draw, but how do they work out in the ring? I think Linares is difficult for Garcia because of his speed, his length, his reach, his lateral movement, his combinations, and I think that Garcia is difficult for Linares because of his timing, his counterpunching, his durability, and his power.
Yeah.
Right?
Questions coming in fast and furious here, Doug.
My hunch is that Mikey would eventually catch.
Yeah?
Would eventually catch
the chin.
and clip Linares. I mean, 12 rounds is a long
chin,
time not to get hit solidly with somebody as accurate as Garcia.
Doug, Deontay Wilder versus Baby Joe Macy. Now or in their prime?
Hey,
you like that, Coach?
Is really good.
That's a good question.
Macy beats him in a coke snorting contest.
We'd really like to thank Abel and Tom Loeffler.
That was a great interview. That was the best interview I've ever seen with Abel Sanchez.
It was awesome.
And I guarantee you, that interview is going to be better. The insight that you got from Abel about this fight, Golovkin versus Canelo, about his fighter, about himself, is more than you'll ever see on a 24/7 or all access or even a mano a mano.
It was awesome.
He's really
Coach, you did a great job.
He's really smart guy, really good guy. And look at the people that Triple G has around him.
Yeah.
Tom Loeffler, Abel, and I'm sure the other people around him, his brother, and then Triple G.
The managers are.
Yeah, the managers, and then Triple G himself. I mean, this is like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So.
It was awesome.
Did you have a good vacation, Doug?
I did. Catalina Island is beautiful. I can't believe it's taken me all these decades to go and check it out. I just thought it was a little touristy place. And it is, Avalon. It's touristy, but it's still nice. It's good food, friendly people, perfect weather. The sun is stronger there than it is here because we got the marine layer and the smog and all that. It kind of filters the sun. You just get sun. But the water's beautiful. Not that I got in it. But I did stuff. I saw the buffalo. I did the zip lining. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, that's
zip
crazy.
lining. It was so funny because Nina really wanted to do it, and I could care less. And so we did it, and she got cold feet right before.
Yeah.
Because you're looking down a canyon, you're like, okay, go swing on this rope. Even though you're in a harness, it's freaky when you're sliding across from one platform to the next, and it's like 50 feet drop, or 100 feet or whatever.
Is Catalina part of California?
It is. Yeah.
So marijuana's legal?
I guess. We didn't smoke out. Nina had actually brought that up. She's never smoked marijuana in her life, and she was thinking maybe I should do it on this trip. We should smoke because it's legal. That's what she's saying. It's legal, I'm not working. We're gonna get away from everything for a week, but she didn't do it.
Doug, do you ever
She's
spar?
probably pissed off that I just put that
How
out
did
there.
that?
I don't know if that was on the record when she told me that, but I'm not interested in smoking weed. I have not smoked weed since 1998, so almost 20 years.
Oxnard's smoking weed as he types it.
Sparring, yes, and I have not sparred in about 20 years.
20 years, okay.
About the same time. The last time that I sparred, I was open to smoking weed.
Yeah.
Seriously, yeah. No, the bulk of my sparring was between 1995 and 99.
Okay.
Okay, so we're talking 90s. And I wasn't really that interested in doing it. It's just that the guy that was training me, a former welterweight fringe contender named Kevin Morgan, he loved sparring. It was just...
Whose father was?
L.C. Morgan out of Youngstown, Ohio.
L.C. Morgan. I saw him fight live.
Yeah.
He was incredible.
And, he was these guys are punchers. They're born punchers. Yeah. L.C. Morgan notched over 100 knockouts. And Kevin Morgan was a do-or-die fighter. He was kill or be killed, kamikaze out there, and he had power in both hands. And he trained in a way where you had to be durable, you had to be fearless, and you had to have power. I don't have any of those things. So it was a weird matchup, but he's such a character. I enjoyed training with him because he trained you so hard. He trained you in volume punching and, crazy pressure and aggression. And it's great just for exercise, for a workout, you know what I mean? But it wasn't for me in sparring. I should have been more of a boxer when I sparred, which is what I did anyways because I didn't want to get killed. But there was a guy named Willie Birdlegs Jensen, who was a former flyweight, junior bantamweight contender, real good title challenger, real excellent technical boxer. You kids at home, you can look him up on YouTube. Maybe there's some fights of Willie Jensen. He fought an excellent Mexican champion named Guti Espadas.
Ah, okay.
If you remember Guti Espadas Jr., that was Espadas Jr.'s father. He was a flyweight champion from Mexico, and Willie Jensen fought him to a draw. Probably deserved that decision, but I think that fight is on YouTube.
Okay.
You guys, you kids at home, you boys and girls, you should check that out. But I had Willie Jensen train me for a while, and with him, when I would spar with Willie and Kevin in my corner, I did well. Nice. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm not saying I'm a badass. I'm not challenging nobody anytime soon. But I occasionally would spar with good amateurs or professional boxers, and they took it seriously. You know what I mean? They would play around with other non-combatants. You know what I mean? And I noticed with me, they took it seriously.
We got so many questions firing in. So, guys, we got about like 25 minutes. Doug's jumping rope. Coach is here with his questions. If you have questions, fire them on Periscope. We got like 50 people here, and people keep joining. So, Doug, Charlo or Lubin, Saucy wants to know.
Jeez.
Good fight.
I got to go with Jermell just because of his...
Good fight.
You know, with these kind of fights, you guys may have noticed, I will generally go for the more experienced fighter, unless I think he's faded, unless I think he's old. So with Klitschko versus Anthony Joshua, I went with Joshua. But I went back and forth. I wanted to pick Klitschko because of his experience. But Klitschko had turned 40 or 41 in many years, 20 years plus of professional fighting. So I went with the younger man. But if you got a guy who has that world-class championship experience, as Jermell Charlo does, against a young monster who is a physical beast, I will go for the veteran. If the veteran isn't faded, I go for the veteran. So I got to go with Charlo in this. But doing that, going with the veteran sometimes bites you in the ass, because I went with Kell Brook over Errol Spence.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking Brook's got the experience. He's not an old man. Yeah, there was a question mark about the damage he took against Golovkin, but I still figured at welterweight he was the man. And it turns out the young guy, the untested guy, the young stud, the prospect, was the man. Yeah. And that happens in boxing. It's great.
Doug, this is an interesting one. Javante versus Gary Russell. No one's
Hey, by the way, Erickson Lubin was Ring Magazine's 2016 Prospect of the Year.
Oh, okay.
And he was my choice. So obviously I'm high on Erickson.
You got a siren. Javante versus Gary Russell. Interesting.
That's a good fight.
No one's mentioned that one. Yeah.
Again, I got to go with the experience. Although, here's the thing with Gary Russell: he's a young man. He's 29. He's the defending WBC featherweight title holder, but he fought once in 2015, once in 2016. So far this year, he's only fought once. I think that inactivity will cost him against Gervonta Davis, who's more active, he's young, he's fresh, he's hungry, and he's got that speed and talent as well. And he was a good amateur. Not as good as Gary Russell, but...
Doug, if Cotto wins...
Maybe Tank I like in that fight.
Okay. If Cotto wins, who would you like to see him fight for his final fight in December?
I think he should retire. All this talk about him fighting David Lemieux is crazy talk,
he could kill.
I think you would be surprised. There are boxing writers, Mike Coppinger included, who thinks that Cotto would handle David Lemieux.
No,
and I'm like,
no.
Lemieux's, he's too big. He hits too hard.
No.
Lemieux is not just a real middleweight. Lemieux has trouble making 160.
Yeah.
He's not a tall guy, but his body and his legs, his core and his legs, his thighs are huge, and he gets that leverage from there, and he punches so hard. I would hate to see Cotto go through what David Lemieux's last opponent went through. That guy went the distance, but he shouldn't have. It was sick.
Sickening.
I mean, it was... Lemieux's punches are scary. So, you hear it.
Yeah, keep sending your questions in.
I don't want to... Yeah, I think if he beats... And I think it is an if. If Cotto beats Yoshihiro Kamagai...
Yeah.
That's it. That's your last hurrah right there. Retire. As a matter of fact, win, lose, or draw, I think really...
Yeah, I agree.
That should be his last fight. Unless there's like a rematch with Canelo, like Canelo loses badly against Triple G, and they say, hey, as a comeback fight for Canelo, whatever, let's fight, and you know you're going to make like 10 million plus.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of fight he can make that kind of money, even more than 10 million guaranteed. Against Lemieux, he can't be guaranteed that much money. Right. Lemieux is only known to hardcore fight fans, and that is such a dangerous fight, I think. Yeah. I really do.
I agree. So, Coach...
This fight might be dangerous, too.
Yeah.
Coming up.
I think so. Yeah. Well, it'll be punishing.
Cotto's been shot forever. He's been shot for... Freddie Roach brought him back. He's done a great job with him. But I think he should quit now, before this fight happens. He could lose this fight.
Coach and Doug, Rigo versus Loma. Dave, you want to go first? Rigo versus Loma, what are the advantages for each?
I love Loma in that fight. Excuse me, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that fight.
Yeah, advantages for Rigondeaux. He can match Lomachenko's speed. He probably has better timing. He has good one-punch power, good counter-punch power. So I think his counter-punching prowess, his slip and counter prowess, it could be dangerous, at least early in the fight for Lomachenko. But I think most of the advantages have to go to Lomachenko. Mm-hmm. He's younger. He's bigger. He's busier. And he has the same speed. They have the equal boxing IQ, I think. And I think Lomachenko, he got tagged a few times against Miguel Mariaga. Looked a little sloppy at times because he was going for the knockout. He was trying to be impressive. He was showboating a lot. He was committing more to his offense than normal.
He's got pressure on him.
Yeah. But he's not going to do that against Rigondeaux. They respect each other. These are two-time Olympic champs. These were not just world-class amateur standouts. They were elite-level, legendary amateur champions. They're going to respect each other. They're not going to be foolish in there. But I just think style-wise, even if there wasn't an age and size disparity, style-wise, Lomachenko has the boxing style that I think is going to win rounds because he's more active.
And the momentum.
And that fight is likely done. We're going to see that.
That's going to be a good
December, maybe okay. December in New York City.
Maybe December, New York City. Okay. Coach and Doug, how come American media never talks about Jose Medel or Carlos Ortiz?
I asked this question. I asked this question about Carlos Ortiz because I think he's one of the greatest fighters from Puerto Rico. I think he's one of the greatest lightweight champions ever. I think he's beyond a Hall of Famer. I think he's an all-time great. And whenever anyone does a list of like the top 5 Puerto Ricans, he's never on there.
Never on it.
And when folks do lists of like the greatest lightweights, he's seldom on there. I'm like, what? And here's the thing: he's not one of these old timers. It's not like he's Joe Gans, right? You know what I mean? It's not like, there's no footage of him.
He's contemporary.
I mean, he fought in the '60s, man, and he's still alive.
You saw Carlos Ortiz.
Carlos Ortiz is one of the greatest living champions. And matter of fact, Ring Magazine did a list of the top 10 greatest living champions. I had Carlos Ortiz in there, and it didn't because we did kind of like an amalgamation. We kind of like merged everybody's list together.
Make the cut?
Well, no one else would put him on there. He did not make the top 10 of anybody, and I don't understand why he gets overlooked. But if you look at his record, you look at the guys he fought, even the unknown guys he fought were amazing. But the legendary fighters that he fought and beat, like Sugar Ramos and Ismael Laguna and Flash Elorde, these guys are legendary fighters in their countries, okay? And he fought these guys often more than once, sometimes more than twice. I'm going to say he fought 7 or 8 fellow Hall of Famers.
I tell you, if you want to look at
a
great fight he had, he fought this guy called Battling Torres. Battling Torres was 18 years old,
I think
undefeated.
Yeah.
It was at the LA Coliseum, and it's on YouTube. It's an incredible fight. Incredible.
Carlos
Fighting a
Ortiz
popular young Mexican fighter
Torres.
In Los Angeles in a Coliseum. How about that?
You guys can YouTube that. Carlos Ortiz versus Battling
Torres. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Coach, I want to know, this question's from me. What do you think of Teddy Atlas's pound-for-pound list, ranking Thurman over Triple G and Canelo? I say trash.
Well, you want to what do I think of
American
Teddy Atlas?
bias.
Teddy Atlas.
Somebody wanted to ask about, somebody tweeted me, Smelodies OG, tweeted me last night saying, what does Coach think about Teddy Atlas? And I said, should I ask tomorrow? And I said, ask tomorrow.
What do you think, Coach?
I like him. He knows his stuff. And last night he was a little toned down, except when they gave him the microphone this one time. He just started going on and on. And if you looked at Andre Ward, he was looking at him like, is this for real?
But he has Keith Thurman, number 4, pound for pound.
I love Keith, by the way.
And does he have Triple G on the top 10 yet?
Probably doesn't even list Triple G.
He's even in the top 10.
Well, he was like, Well, you know what you.
I think it's an American bias, but he gets away with it because he puts Lomachenko number
Right.
1. So he's like, you can't say I got a U.S. bias,
Right.
but I think it's an American bias. It's basically an American pound-for-pound list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's basically an American pound-for-pound list, but he's got Lomachenko at number 1.
Yeah,
And he feels like he's got a soft spot for Lomachenko because he knew about Lomachenko before anybody because he's an Olympic boxing commentator.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you got your journalist pride in there, like, yeah, I knew about him before everyone, you know. So that's my take. I'm thinking he's just super patriotic, which, by the way, a lot of guys his age are. They don't. If there's like a pound for pound list, and there's like 2 Japanese dudes in there,
Yeah.
or there's too many guys who are under bantamweight or featherweight on there, they get all weird about it. Like, no, we need some American welterweights in there because that's the tradition, right?
Yeah. I like Thurman too, but he fights like once every 5 years.
Exactly.
Well, with Teddy Atlas,
One
also,
time a year.
It sort of depends if he took his meds.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this guy, he's out of his skull. But speaking of Andre Ward, I thought he was so incredibly great last night.
Joe Tess.
I mean,
He's all about Joe
Joe
Tess.
Tess was good, but Andre
That's why
Ward,
that trio worked.
no, Andre
Seriously.
Ward was great. He looks like a movie star. He's really smart guy.
When are you going to get a SOG?
Yeah,
t-shirt?
SOG shirt for Coach. He loves Andre
Really?
Ward.
You need it.
And he's probably got every penny he ever made.
That's
Probably.
for sure.
You know,
Is he going to sign with Top Rank?
That's the rumor.
That's what he was doing there, probably.
That might it sort of looks like that because that was strange.
He's not going to
how
get
that-
paid $7 million
Yeah.
to fight in fights, you know, where nobody sees it. But yeah, I mean,
So, Coach, you got some questions
sense.
for Doug. You guys can keep writing in questions.
Okay, so I have some questions for you, JP.
Okay.
oh shit.
Uh-oh.
Okay, let's see how you are on these odds.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Okay.
I'll
Well, let
try.
me ask you this. Do you remember the first time you ever gambled?
I don't. It was probably on a hot dog eating contest. No, it was probably on a fight. I can tell you the first ticket in Vegas, yes.
What was that?
It was, I actually can. I don't know the first sporting event, but the first boxing event I ever wagered on in Las Vegas was Marco Antonio Barrera to beat Prince Nassim Hamed.
Wow.
And he was a 3-to-1 underdog.
3-1 underdog.
That
He was a
was
3-to-1
good.
underdog, and he took his glove and he shoved Hamed into the corner.
Yeah. Oh, that was a great
And that was a
fight.
great bet. And then I never thought I'd lose another bet. I said, this is easy.
And do you remember that
It's not that
Hamed
easy.
couldn't make it over the ropes?
Yeah, yeah, that was the kiss of
And
death.
you know where he trained for that
Where
fight?
did he train?
He
Palm
trained
Springs.
in Palm Springs, wearing silk pajamas,
Yeah.
and he was through.
Sparring
Yeah.
in a ring that was set up in a ballroom that
Yeah.
had a chandelier,
Yeah.
a beautiful chandelier
Yeah.
hanging above it. No exaggeration. That's the real truth.
And I can tell you
And
that
if you were a Max Boxing reader and member, you knew that we were very, especially Steve Kim, were very high on Marco Antonio.
Doug, do you
Barrera.
remember this line? Apparently, Allah knows how to spell Barrera.
Yeah, and that
got in trouble
was
for that,
Larry.
right?
Yeah, and that made George Foreman angry.
Yeah.
He got really pissed off.
Lampley got in
about
trouble
that.
for that.
Yeah.
Didn't
What
didn't
happened?
Foreman say something like "cool" with that or something
Yeah.
like that?
Oh, yeah.
Lampley spelled out Barrera like.
Oh, was
they
it
would spell
Lampley
out
or was
Allah.
it Larry who said
One of
that?
them said,
No, maybe it was
"Yeah,
Lampley. Shit.
Allah knows how to spell Barrera," and George Foreman said, "You better cool it with that stuff."
And I think he put that big hand on his shoulder, like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
But
Yikes.
so, hey, what's the difference between the lines for Canelo Triple G in the U.S.
Right.
and overseas?
So I have a friend monitoring the lines in Vegas for the Triple G Canelo fight, and an interesting note is that overseas, Triple G is something like $15 or $16 to win $10.
Okay.
Slight favorite.
Yeah.
But in Las Vegas right now, it's a little bit closer. I don't know whether that be the Latin market or whether the lines just differ from hotel to hotel, but it's $13 to win $10.
I see.
So you can take 13 grand out there to win 10 and win on Triple G if you want that number. I would assume that the offshore Costa Rican and Panama books will get close like that as the fight
Right.
comes closer too. But right now, the best line is in Las Vegas.
And you yourself have not bet yet.
I have
You're
not
waiting
bet
for it
yet.
to
I'm going to wait
come up.
till
Yeah.
the very end, both for Mayweather and Triple G.
I see.
The incredible thing is that right now, at some books, Floyd Mayweather is less of a favorite this weekend than Miguel Cotto versus Kamagai.
That's crazy.
So this stuff's getting
So
crazy.
let me ask you this. I know you don't lose very often, But when you do,
Sometimes.
do you ever get depressed?
Yeah, it's hard. Now I got a kid, so it's like, man, it's taking food off his table every single time.
Well, we know overall,
I can't lose
though,
anymore.
you win.
Yeah, Bud Crawford was
But-
amazing last night.
How do you do on women's basketball?
Women's basketball I've retired from.
Okay.
No women's basketball, no baseball, and no
What about tennis?
NFL. Fights, just fights. That's how you win.
Do they have a line on the World Series Little League?
They do. They do. I don't check it, though. They
Did you
do.
happen to watch that game last night before the fight?
I wanted it off the TV.
It was incredible. These kids are great.
So will Trump be impeached? There's a line on that.
For sure.
For sure. Okay, you
sure.
heard it from
no,
Coach.
he's not going to be impeached.
You heard it from
but
Coach.
It's going to be a different way. But the line went way down. I checked the line.
He's gonna resign.
Victory.
It was
Yeah.
3-1.
He will.
It was 3-1 favorite that he would make it through the
That he
term.
would make it through the 4 years.
Yeah. Now it's less than even money.
He'll even do a Dick Nixon and do the
Yeah.
victory.
Yeah, exactly.
I proved you all wrong.
Coach and Doug, give us a quick Mayweather-McGregor breakdown.
It's a business transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this is what I say.
Okay,
That's all
Coach.
it is.
I
They're
say-
going to make money.
You
Yeah.
can bet on how many pay-per-views they do. That's the main issue.
Right.
Right.
Okay,
Tell us,
I'm-
JP. Tell us what's the over/under.
Over or under 4 million or 5 million. So you can do either of those, 4 million or 5 million. And we as a consensus don't think it will go either. Correct?
Under.
Under.
Yeah, I think
So
it does
folks,
under.
Under.
In fact,
say-
I think it does under 3 million.
And Pacquiao did
4
4 point something.
Yeah.
That's the record.
no
Mayweather
2.4,
Pacquiao's
right?
record.
What was it?
No, no.
No.
Four.
4.2.
You're thinking of Mayweather De La Hoya.
Gotcha.
Was like 2 point something.
Okay, so they are thinking it's going to shatter the Pacquiao record.
The thing is, I was getting so much free publicity on just general sports
Right.
program and just regular programs. It's hard to say. I mean, are you going to watch it?
I am going to watch it for wagering purposes, but I want to tell you that if it is a DQ, I don't think it's going to be a kick or something crazy.
Yeah.
I'll say right now, if Conor
Robert
McGregor
Byrd is
gets
the referee.
yeah,
Yeah.
He is there. His sole job is to protect Floyd.
Do you know
If-
how much he's
His
making?
sole job, and he will do it.
Do you know how much he's making for that?
I don't know. Good money for a ref.
He's making $25,000. The judges make $20,000.
wow.
And the reason that Bayless is not the ref, because when the fight was first announced, he said it was a stupid fight.
Oh, he said something about it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He says, but come on, guys, give me a prediction. Okay, I think Mayweather late stoppage, probably.
I say Mayweather could knock him out at any time after a couple rounds,
Yeah.
but he carries him because they have a gentleman's agreement.
Okay, Mayweather could knock him out within 1 minute of the first round if he wanted to.
Right.
Okay, I say it's going to be a DQ.
Yeah, I could
That's
see it.
what- that would-
Are they both going to get disqualified
Rabbit
for not
punching.
throwing punches? Right? McGregor will be too tired, and Mayweather just won't do it because of their gentleman's agreement?
Here-
You know, so I
Double disqualification? That would be memorable.
I respect.
And that would serve everybody right.
Yeah.
I love that.
I respect them for having this fight. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, they can make a lot
This
of money.
is-
It's all a joke.
I'm
and-
cool with it.
and
You know what I don't like? It's just, it's boring.
Yeah.
The talk about it. It's everyone
The
says
talk
the
is
same
very
thing.
monotonous.
Everyone
Yeah.
says, at least general media, general sports media, okay, mainstream sports media and boxing folks all agree there's no way Mayweather can lose. And all we do is kick around these analogies, right? Like, well, just because they're both in combat sports doesn't mean that McGregor has any shot. It's like Usain Bolt
Yeah.
racing the best marathoner,
Same stuff.
right, in a marathon. Usain Bolt is a sprinter. He has no shot. And so we've all got this like, oh, it's like tennis and ping pong or whatever. We've all got these analogies that we're just throwing around. And everybody on Twitter is just all Mayweather all day. Mayweather, Mayweather, Mayweather. So here's the crazy thing. We're all in agreement. This is Mayweather can't lose. When Mayweather wins the fight, right, from that night and for probably an entire week, we're going to have Mayweather fans say, I told you so.
Right.
I told you. Mayweather would win. It's like,
Who cares?
who the hell were you telling this to? And they'll just be like, MMA fans.
Yeah. Here's
I'm like, am I Dougie MMA fan? Like, shut up.
Here's an interesting question. This is actually a really good fight. It's under the radar. So Friday night, Doug, after a long layoff, Turiano Johnson's coming back. He's going to fight this Ukrainian guy.
Wait, when is that?
Friday night, the night before Mayweather-McGregor.
That's such a good fight.
How do you pronounce that?
Derevyanchenko?
Derevyanchenko.
Derevyanchenko or something
This
like
is
that?
a good fight.
It's a middleweight fight.
Yeah.
I think it's like an IBF eliminator.
It might be the best fight FS1's ever put on.
Yeah, I think so. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
You know, Toriano Johnson's the experienced veteran.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pressure fighter. He's very strong. He's got a great chin. Not afraid to stick it out there.
Right.
And Derevyanchenko, and I'm probably butchering that name. It's Sergey, right? Sergey Derevyanchenko.
Yeah.
He has the amateur background, but I think he only has 10 fights.
I think he
He's only
fought
fought
in
10
that thing, though,
times
that
as a pro.
Lomo was in with
Oh,
Usyk.
he was
the World Series of
he was
Boxing.
in the World Series of Boxing.
He was in
so
WSB.
He's got that experience.
Yeah.
But he looks like he's got 20 fights.
It's a tank.
Yeah, and he's strong. He's an aggressive, brute strong technician.
Yeah.
So you got to think that though he's not like a fancy Dan. He's not light on his feet and looking to avoid confrontation. So you gotta figure that it's going to be a hard fight.
It's going to be a good fight.
I don't know what to think of Johnson because since he fought on the undercard of Golovkin Lemieux,
Right,
I think
in
that
New
was
York.
October of 2015.
In New York,
he's
yeah.
fought like once.
I think so.
Because he had a shoulder injury, and that cost him a mandatory shot at Triple G.
Long layoff.
And then a long layoff, and I think when he tried to come back on one of these fantasy spring cards, but he came in heavy.
Oh, okay.
And his opponent was like, "We're not fighting you."
Right.
So that screwed him up right there.
What weight class does he fight at? This guy's asking. I think 54, right? Is this 54 or 60?
No, it's 160.
This is 160.
It's
To answer your
middleweight.
question,
Yeah,
160.
and they're strong, sturdy middleweights. This is a good fight.
Very good fight.
I agree. I think it's probably one of the best FS1s.
Yeah,
But it's on a Friday. It's not a Tuesday.
Friday night.
It's Friday night.
Speaking of good fights, the first fight on the Friday night ESPN against Camacho Jr. and Rodriguez is one of the best fights I've ever seen.
So go watch that.
Bantamweights?
Six
Junior
rounders,
bantamweights? It was so
two
good.
undefeated guys. They put their lives into it. If you can find it on YouTube or go, you should watch that fight. It was incredible.
From this past Friday. Check it out.
Last Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the very first fight.
So we got 5 or 6 more minutes. Coach, you got some questions for Doug?
I have some for you.
All right.
Okay. So what's the price of the Cotto fight?
Okay, so Cotto currently is about a 4-to-1 favorite.
Okay, you got that.
yes.
And how about Jack?
Badu Jack is surprisingly, I wonder what Doug you'll think of this. Badu Jack's a 4-to-1 favorite.
I agree. I think he should handle Cleverly.
There you
I think
go.
Cleverly is shop worn.
There you go.
How about you?
He's got guts. He's a gutsy fighter. He'll make for a good fight.
Badu moving up a few pounds, but
he started his career at
There you
175.
go.
He's just
There you
moving
go.
back up.
Okay.
And it's time for him to move back up. He was struggling
he
at
was
168.
struggling to hit it. Yeah.
How about Usyk against Huck?
Usyk's a 20-to-1 favorite.
20
Yeah.
to 1
Try 30.
in Germany?
Yeah, but Usyk's the man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Usyk, but
That's a shocking
I
line,
don't-
though.
yeah,
Shocking
that's
line.
kinda crazy.
But
Yeah.
Usyk's the man.
How about Saunders and Monroe?
Off the top of my head, Saunders.
Billy Joe Saunders, slight, right?
Saunders is a slight favorite, but I'm going to take Monroe. I don't like Billy Joe
Monroe.
Saunders.
Can he win a decision over
Probably
there?
not. But, Billy Joe Saunders, I didn't think he'd beat that very crude guy who fought Bartholomew.
Yeah. Russian dude.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you
Or Russian Armenian.
Krelev? Krelev.
How
Anyway.
about Linares?
Linares, 3-to-1 favorite over Luke Campbell.
Luke Campbell.
I like
I
Linares.
think Luke Campbell can fight.
Yeah, he can.
I like him.
Relic.
He's got-
Thank you.
he's
The
got-
kid's
he's
name
got-
was Relic. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh no, was it? Yeah.
Kieran Relic. Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that the guy who upset Campbell?
No, that.
Oh no,
was...
he lost a close fight to Ricky Burns, and then he fought Bartholomew.
Campbell was beat by Ivan Mendy of France.
That's right, a French dude.
So that's
and
he's
he
won
never
everything.
avenged that, did he?
No,
Campbell. He never avenged.
Mendy was pricing himself out of a rematch, so now
Oh.
we get Campbell versus Linares. It'll be a good fight.
Campbell is he's an Olympic gold medalist.
Gold medalist, London.
Real tall,
Yeah.
right? Real tall, rangy.
Body
kid.
puncher.
Good body puncher, yeah.
Okay, so I have some questions for Doug.
All right.
Okay, so Doug, I want you to tell me the best fight you ever saw in person, the best fight you ever saw on TV.
Best fight I ever saw in person, I guess it'll have to be Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo, their first fight in 2005. It's close between Corrales Castillo and Barrera Morales won, and the third bout between Israel Vasquez and Rafael Marquez. But I think Corrales Castillo gets it because that 10th round was so dramatic and so crazy, and the atmosphere was insane there. I mean, it was like, and there was not a lot of people. There were not a lot of fans.
Right.
And any of these fights, really. I mean, they sold out StubHub. It only sells 8,000 for Vasquez Marquez 3. But for the first Barrera-Morales fight, they cut the Mandalay Bay Event Center in half. So there was like 6,300 that was there. And they were all crazy, diehard Mexican fans. It was a great atmosphere. But I think there was just around 5,000 people in the building at the Mandalay Bay for Corrales Castillo.
Wow.
And I think a lot of those were media, because the Boxing Writers Association banquet was the night before. So there was a lot of industry people, like a lot of folks from the East Coast and a lot of boxing writers and stuff. Not a lot of like hardcore fans. Believe it or not, a lot of hardcore fans were saving their money for Felix Trinidad versus Winky Wright, which took place the following Saturday.
Right.
But I was telling them, because that was an expensive ticket, I was telling everybody, if you're going to go to a live fight, go to that one. And it really delivered. It was amazing. But that 10th round just kind of puts it over the top, because that's like, if that happened in a Rocky movie, we'd be like, come on. Even Rocky can't do that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so it was nuts. So it's got to be that one.
So what's the best fight you ever saw on TV?
On TV?
Hard question.
That's a good one. One of my favorites, it's a little guy fight. I don't know why. Something about this fight is Michael Carbajal versus Chiquita Gonzalez, their first fight. That was a fight I wasn't able, because it was closed circuit and pay-per-view, and I wasn't able to get it. I think it was in the early 90s, and, whatever. I was in grad school. I couldn't see it, right? And then so I saw it on TV maybe a year later or whatever, or maybe I saw it on VHS or something. But just the way they fought and the manner in which Carbajal got up from 2 knockdowns, really against a superior boxer, a superior fighter, a guy who proved his technical superiority in their subsequent bouts. But in this fight, they were going at it. They were trying to win by knockout. But the way that he got up from 2 knockouts and knocked out Chiquita, and he was exploding with emotion, and the way the top-ranked staff reacted. I've never seen these guys. They've been in boxing a long time, and they were probably even jaded in the early 90s. But to see Bob Arum and Bruce Trampler and Lee Samuels, the publicist, the way they looked, like the emotion in their faces. And I didn't even know who these guys were at the time. But I knew they were with Carbajal. They were the top-ranked guys with Carbajal. The way they ran in there to hug him and they looked teary-eyed, it made me emotional. And every time, I haven't watched a fight in a long time, but every time I watch that fight, the way it ends, it always made me a little bit emotional. Something about Little Hands of Stone, Michael Carbajal, the manner in which he won that fight, it moved me. And then there's a couple fights they were technical fights that I really enjoyed, and that I've just seen on TV, like on tape delay. And one of them was the first fight between James Toney and Mike McCallum. If you guys haven't seen that, check it out. It's a 12-round draw. 2 excellent middleweight technicians doing what they do best. But it's aggressive technique. And then there's Roberto Duran's win over Iran Barkley, which was the Ring Magazine Fight of the Year for 1989. I never get tired of watching that, because it's a good fight, because Barkley fought the best fight of his life, and Duran was brilliant. I mean, he won the fight on veteran savvy and guile and ring generalship, but he was fighting. I mean, he was right in there in the pocket, exchanging with this big dude who was in his athletic prime and peak, and the big dude fought an amazing fight. It was a great 12-round split decision won by Roberto Duran at age 37. And I never get tired of watching it.
Okay, so Duran Barkley, Carbajal versus Chiquita Gonzalez, and Tony
McCallum won.
Go watch that, guys.
Watch it.
All right.
I'll give you my best fight that I ever saw on TV.
Yeah.
I've seen him. Derek Jefferson against Maurice Harris.
That is a great fight.
What a shootout. Boxing after dark.
When was that?
That is a great fight.
Man, I'm going to say it's either 99 or 2000.
99.
Great fight.
That was incredible.
Hey, Dave, how about one more? Giraffe Tony.
Oh,
yeah.
What a fight. I watched that one on TV.
Yeah. Great fight.
That was great. I was so happy for James.
Yeah. With Emmanuel Stewart losing his mind. Okay, so we got 3 more minutes. We're right around 40 minutes. What do you think, Coach?
Who's your Dougie? Who's your favorite fighter of all time?
Favorite fighter
Tough
of all
question.
time has got to be Muhammad Ali. That's the reason I'm a boxing fan. Yeah. I'm not meant to be a sports fan. Hey, Dave, and I'm like, what about him? I'm completely oblivious.
They don't
as
lose.
To how
they're
they're
amazing.
Doing. I wouldn't know if they're if they're looking terrible or if they're looking great or whatever.
I don't. See those two homeless guys over here? Yeah. That's all they're talking about, the Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
Yeah, everybody. The whole city's just talking about
I'm
the Dodgers.
totally oblivious.
Yeah, they cannot lose.
You go to the
incredible.
market, it's all blue caps.
I can't remember the last time I watched an NFL game. I haven't been an NBA fan since the early 90s. I haven't watched college hoops since I was in college. I'm not really a sports fan, but something about Muhammad Ali, he just touched me as a kid, as a 6- and 7-year-old. He was just amazing. I was drawn to him before I ever saw him fight, and before I could really appreciate who he was and what he did. But he was sort of the entree, my on-ramp into boxing, and Sugar Ray Leonard was emerging at that time in the late 70s, coming out of the 1976 Olympics, and so he became my favorite fighter probably before the end of that decade, like 79, 80. Again, I'm a 9- and 10-year-old kid. And to me, Sugar Ray Leonard was like Bruce Lee. He was an action hero. He was my hero. You know, I identified with him. I loved the way he fought, and I was nervous when he would fight a threat like Duran or Thomas Hearns. And when he retired, I was bummed out, and I stopped watching boxing. And when he came back to fight Marvin Hagler, I got back into boxing.
Yeah.
So it's got to be those two guys.
Okay.
Because they brought me to the sport. So Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard. And after Leonard, it was Terry Norris.
Yep.
And it was Terry Norris for a long time. And after Terry Norris, it was Shane Mosley and Marco Antonio Barrera. And I was fans of theirs before I covered boxing. I paid money to buy tickets to see them fight live. And they were sensational. And it was great to watch their rise in the sport and to kind of gradually become a member of Press Row. And cover them. You know, to start out as a fan who was buying a ticket to see them fight, and then to be there like press row, front and center, and writing stories about their fights. Because I used to go home after watching Barrera at the Forum or watching Shane Mosley at club shows, you know, at the Warner Center in Woodland Hills or whatever.
Wow.
I would go home and write a story that no one ever read because I had an interest in writing about boxing.
Right.
You know? So, yeah, that's a good handful right there.
And look where we are now.
Yeah.
Years later.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Steve Kim and I are the veteran boxing writers.
Yeah.
Did you hear Joe Tessitore?
Did you say that?
Give a shout out to Steve Kim. Yeah,
Oh, that's why people have been writing in on your Periscope. Okay.
He called him veteran boxing writer Steve Kim.
Nice.
And he referenced Steve Kim's article about the Crawford and Dongo fight that was titled "The Belts Matter." You know.
Yeah.
He was basically saying the reason this fight is happening, the reason we even know who Ndongo is because he's got 2 belts.
Yeah.
The only reason that fight is happening is because it was an opportunity to unify all of the major sanctioning organizations.
I think Ndongo's still on the canvas.
He doesn't know where. He's just happy to be out of the ring with Terrence Crawford because he was tight. That was evident from the opening bell, and Crawford recognized it right off. He was so relaxed and so poised, but
beautiful.
Forcing the tempo and the pace, stalking him and making him uncomfortable and making him throw punches when he didn't want to throw punches, and he was ready to counter him with everything. Whether it was a right hook from the southpaw stance or a straight left or a body shot, whatever.
Incredible performance.
He knew how to counter him in every way. And man, he could hurt you.
You know, the top-ranked guys knew this going in.
Yeah,
they're so sharp.
Oh yeah,
they're so sharp. And let me tell you, a guy who's really
think about how many Hall of Famers they have. Okay, so Bob Arum is a Hall of Famer, been in the Hall of Fame for decades.
And everyone around
Bruce
him.
Trampler is in the Hall of Fame.
Trampler, yep.
And I think Carl Moretti's going to go in the Hall of Fame.
And the guy Brad.
Brad Goodman.
Goodman.
Brad Goodman is now a veteran.
Yeah.
He's the old man. Matchmaker.
And they're all behind the scenes. No one even hears about them.
And Lee Samuels is a legendary PR guy. A guy who was encouraging to Steve Kim and I when we were just starting. We were lucky. Because Lee Samuels was open to the internet when the internet was new media. And John Beirudi was cool. He's now a PR guy, but he was a sports writer. But he was the PR guy for Forum Boxing. And the guy who took over for Beirudi when Beirudi became a publicist, I can't think of the guy's name. He didn't really give a crap, but he didn't give us any shit. He was like, .com, what? House of Boxing, whatever. Just go on. Here's your credential. Just don't cause any trouble, you know. So they were cool. They let us do our thing.
But speaking of guys who are really good, Robert Diaz
knows what he's doing.
Golden Boy.
Matchmaker.
And I mean, this guy is so
Sharp.
good. He's so good on TV.
He is.
And
he's got such a love for the sport.
And a knowledge.
Yeah, he does.
And what they should do. And Linares is his guy.
Linares. And before that, it was Barrera.
But
yeah, Linares.
Barrera. But what they should do is take advantage of him. They don't use him enough.
We need to put him on camera.
I mean,
we're going to. That's a goal of mine, is to bring back the matchmaker segment.
They're great. Yeah.
Let me just tell you my favorite fighter of all time.
Yes.
Hands down, Art Aragon.
Art Aragon,
the original Golden Boy.
Unbelievable.
I met him. A few times.
Art Aragon.
I mean, he's the biggest star of sports in the history of L.A.
Yeah.
Bigger than Sandy Koufax, bigger than Magic Johnson. Art Aragon was the guy.
Yeah.
As you know, when boxing was really like a major sport here.
It was a glamour sport, and he was glamorous, and he was one of these guys that people love to hate.
Right.
Like Hollywood loved him, right? And then a lot of boxing fans didn't like him because of, I don't know, the way he carried himself.
Because he knocked out Enrique Bolaños.
Yeah, he was very popular.
That's what happened.
That turned Mexican fans against him. Right. And I think they were looking at it like, you're picking on an older, smaller guy, because Bolaños is really a natural lightweight, and they probably fought at welterweight. But he's a hell of a fighter. But yeah, like when he would enter the ring,
my God, it was like
what kind
magic.
of sweaters did they wear?
No, they had golden
sweaters.
on. And they all,
yeah,
it was incredible. Well, what happened is he was a step above a club fighter, but they would build him up. Then he would fight some guy.
He'd fight a real guy.
Like Basilio.
Yeah.
He'd get knocked out.
Yeah.
Then he'd start over again, build up. Then he'd fight another guy like Vince Martinez.
Yeah.
You know that?
No.
Okay. Martinez. And he'd get knocked out.
I'll have to look that up. I'll have to look at mine.
Yeah. Then he fought Jimmy Carter. He fought
great underrated lightweight champ.
Oh, he was incredible.
Gets overlooked. All these lightweights. Carlos Ortiz gets overlooked.
All these guys. So we're right around 45 minutes, Coach.
45?
Yeah. You've been flying. Anyway, time's flying by, so sign us up.
Hey, JP, we just want to thank you for coming.
Thank you, Coach.
I mean, when I talked to Doug, all he said is JP coming.
Yeah.
I can't let you down.
So you add a lot. We really like having you here.
For sure.
You're really good at it.
It's great to be here.
And anyway, we want to thank Abel Sanchez again.
He was amazing.
So good.
For last week, and Tom Loeffler. And anyway, Doug, it's great having you back.
Yeah.
So I just wanted one thing. If you noticed, we talk about the most important thing is safe driving.
Of course.
I mean, nothing's more important.
Of course.
And if you noticed last night, Crawford had that guest who's the father of the football player that got killed in a car crash.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that guy. He looked so depressed.
Yeah.
Very sad.
So out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, what that car crash did, you can see it took all the spirit out of this father. I mean, that is like frightening. I mean, driving is so important to drive safely. So what you have to do is every time you get in your car, you take a deep breath. You visualize safe driving. You take it easy. Forget you have your cell phone with you. Everything's about safe driving.
Forget that you're in a hurry.
You cannot be in a hurry. So you just gotta. I mean, that guy. What a picture of that guy last night. It was
sad.
It was really sad.
Yeah.
He couldn't get.
No, he couldn't muster a smile. No, he can't. He's sick inside.
Yeah. So I mean,
he's heartbroken.
His life's over.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. And so, anyway, I thought about how we feel about safe driving. It's really, really, really important.
It's the most important thing. It's more important than even your health. You know what I mean? Your diet and your exercise and your sleep. All that's important.
Put the phones down.
Yeah. What good is it if you get smashed up? Yeah.
Anyway, Doug, great having you back, JP.
So Crawford's unified champ. We got Floyd next week. We got Triple G and Canelo right around the corner, Doug.
Don't forget Superfly, September 9th.
September 9th, StubHub. There's still a couple tickets left. Come see Coach and I there. Coach is going to be there.
Really? You guys going to be there?
Yeah, Doug will be there.
I'm definitely going to be there.
We're going to go. Everyone's going to be there.
Don't be a stranger if you
anyway,
see us.
Be happy. Be positive.
Love everybody.
Love everybody and everything, and drive carefully.
See you next week.